Hello, lads and gents. My username is PuffoBob and my real name is Confidential, and today I'll be leading you through all the matches you'll be seeing. I'll be showing you what's in the depths of Rainbow Six Siege, but it's not going to be any match of Rainbow Six Siege, it's going to be Talent League. Today we're going to be watching two best of ones facing off. It's going to be Davinci Esports against Project Black X. That's going to be the first one. The second one also contains a team you've just heard the name of, which is going to be Davinci versus Go to Limit. So both fantastic matches. They're personally, I don't have experience with these teams, but you know what we do have experience with? These maps on my left or right hand side. I can't tell directly, but for the first map, we're going to be heading to good old Clubhouse. You can't really go wrong with the map. I hate it so much. I wish we could just get rid of it, but I do believe all players are ready to go into action. And with that, I mean, like I said, Clubhouse, it's not a bad map. I just personally love it playing it. Spectating it for the 225th time is a bit of a rough one, but it's still fun when the team and the both the teams actually really provide a great experience and some spawn peaks. I'm crossing my fingers for it. And with that, I mean, we'll slowly start heading into the match. So with that, lads and gents, you may have realized that normally when you watch streams like these, especially Talent League, especially T4, especially majority of casts, I would say 99%, there's two casters. Sadly today I will be solo casting, but a bit less about me and the production side, and let's head over to the match. We're going over to the operator bands, and this is where we get a bit feisty, because sometimes, it is... Oh, let me just put my microphone back. I was a bit of a news reporter a couple of seconds back, but now I'm officially on caster mode. Now I have my stand up and now I'm ready to go into it. Clubhouse is definitely a map that relies on heavy breach, but Execute is still in the meta. Execute is something you want to do as an attacker and something you need to do if you want to get that plant off. So the first ban being Ging is completely fine. She is pretty much the best Execute operator, unless when it comes to her counter, which would be Warden, but she's a common ban. It's nothing new. Now, Thatcher coming out, again, I can kind of relate, but I would have still personally preferred some sort of Maverick, some sort of Dokkaebi action. A bit more common bans, but Thatcher, it's fine. That's going to be giving Project Black X a bit of an easier time going into the first few defense rounds, especially let's say if they go CC. Let's say if they go Gem. They're going to have a way easier time denying hard breaches or any type of main breach openings and securing their rotations throughout site, mainly because they have Bandit, Cade isn't banned, Tubarao isn't banned, and Mute is still on the board. Speaking of Mute, Nike just picking him off, and that Cade, along with the Tubarao going Church and Arsenal, which, again, Thatcher isn't on the board anymore. Breaches are going to be extremely hard. Thankfully, fret not, ladies and gentlemen. We still have that Maverick. We still have that beautiful Maverick, which is just a bit of a slower process than Thatcher, but it does the job. And that's what's most important, especially when it comes to hatches. You gotta waste a bit of that fuel. Maybe watch out for anyone actually peeking you. Same goes for main breach. Waste a bit of fuel, but that's completely fine. And with that, we're going to be going Church Arsenal. Let's check out the downstairs. Let's check out these lineups the players are bringing, such as on defense. I'm seeing the meta here. I already see that Azami, and I'm thinking this is going to be absolute chaos. Not only because Azami, I mean, although she did get nerfed, again, I do believe for the second or third time, whatever it was, she is getting, even with or without that nerf, she is as recognized. Just because of purely, she's just a better, more viable Castle. Of course, Castle, alongside with the zombies, just a brutal way of stopping and going about it. Hey, you're not going in here without wasting a lot of utility and time. So, taking the hands off of a zombie just for a second, let's take a look at this complete denial of breach and information. Another thing that's going to be getting denied is going to be Yana's entrance. A spawn peek coming out from PBX. Opening kill onto the Yana, which is going to be... I mean, at this point, PBX, they are denying everything. They have the mute for denial of drones. They have the Cade with the Tubarao for denial of breach. They have the Azami for denial of entrance, and they have the Legion, which does about the same job for extra info. Now, 4v5 very early on for Davinci isn't going to be looking too good. Also, those skulls are going to be a bit of a hindrance, but that doesn't matter. We have a quite extended and heavy roam coming out from the Legion, and as we're talking about him, it's Fluency does decide to take a bit of a stroll to the upper floor, tries to peek in, tries to, see what's happening. What are they pushing? Gets a bit too aggressive and pre-fire directly between the eyes, but getting one for himself. And now we're down to that equal man standing. 2 minutes still on the clock. The attackers have a decent amount of time, but it seems like they're also going to have to waste just a tiny bit more getting rid of this Legion. Legion does manage to retreat back upstairs. He has those reinforcers. People won't be able to push him from the side of Jacuzzi, but they're going to need to pinch him out or completely ignore him. There's nothing in between. If you're going to be wasting too much time, he's going to go for a flank, he's going to go for verticals, and he's going to take you out. He's going to make a big hole in your entire attack. Now with that, Dokkaebi going in, she's going to be taking things into her own personal hands. Some calls are coming out, instantly gets denied, but Legion has a lot of loopholes. He can go down hatches, he can make rotations, he can do whatever because he has the secondary shotgun. Now we are wasting a decent bunch of time. Legion putting up quite a good fight. Hiding behind that generator is definitely going to give him the, hey, I'm safe from bullets. Get out of jail free card. What he's also going to get, another kill. Jukas, second one on hand. He's going to be starting it off, taking out the Buck, which, Buck may not have the verticality, and they don't have any more hard breaches on board, taking out the Habana alongside with the Dokkaebi, full flushing the entirety of the upstairs roam clear off the board. Now, it's a 4v1 situation. Project Black X has been absolutely holding their sight. They have been steady, they have been nice about it, they have been clean. Davinci, you went upstairs with 3 people, and all 3 of them got killed because of 1v1 situation. Flashers are coming down, Yells goes for that pre-fire and gets it, with PBS getting the first round, Cade finishing it off, and that TCSG-12 is going to be looking beautiful. Just a perfect timing, the drop came in a bit too late. You should have waited for the flash to go off, Cade gets landed, and then you go in for the drop. But, giving that little gap between the flash and you dropping, making it that much larger, that much larger of a time gap, you're going to be giving him the time to actually go for that kill, go for that pick, and finish the round. First round, PBX. Davinci Esports not looking too good, and I'm saying this only in the first round is because of how they played about it. They expected nothing. Hibana walked up main stairs, and she expected cuddles and teddy bears. What she got in return is a couple of bullets directly in her forehead. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, it was just absolute demolition from Jukas. Jukas juking the entire upstairs floor, just taking it all for himself. Didn't even need that much goo mines to help him out. He didn't spread them around the side of main stairs. He spread them out around, I would very positively say, Cash and CC. Now, even though one round is only one, this is the very early stages. This is where the teams learn about each other's gameplay. This is where they kind of get known with each other. They get these moments where, this team is extremely aggressive. We are very defensive. We need to switch things up. We need to kind of counter them. Maybe wait for them. Maybe be a bit less patient or a bit more patient. Whatever the case does end up being, it's not the point where it's actually closing into the match point. So we're still good. First round, it's whatever. But we definitely can't spot that PBX is definitely a lot more aggressive, bringing a lot more to the table when it comes to gunfire, at least in these early rounds. Now, we are going to a different site. Since PBX won on Church and Church downstairs, they can't go to that same site again. They're going to be going upstairs, gym and bedroom. I would say definitely these 2 sites are best to go around with. If they win again, it's not going to be bar, that's for sure. So we're going to be seeing, hopefully, or maybe not, some CC and Cash in the later rounds. Now, going for the site, you really want to take it on a way that you go for a split push. You want to take the side of Cash, Construction, Logi. You want to surround the side on attackers. One, denying any type of rotation on the side of Jacuzzi, as Maverick is doing for right now. Going for that breach, so you actually prevent the defenders from roaming around as they wish. And then the main push should come around for that plant. Should take out Construction, take out the remaining players on defense. And what you shouldn't allow to happen is the defenders to get the opening kills onto you as you're trying to push in. Fluency, one for himself. A good start, just like earlier. He started it off, but he was also the first pick earlier. So let's hope lightning doesn't strike twice right now for the side of Davinci. And with that, you also have your Sledge out. Sledge, of course, It's not that important of an operator. Verticality here isn't a must. If you wanted to go verticality, which is a thing that almost never happens, you would go buck. You can't go from above, maybe destroy hatches, which Sledge probably already did, but it's a good trade. You know, rather that than a hard breach or a Capital for the execute, or what, or a hard breach, I would say supporter, which would be Maverick in this case, which he is being used as a full hard breach, but it doesn't matter right now. You're running out of time again, same situation as earlier. Don't have much ground covered and letting the defenders just completely roam around. They are completely stalling them out. I mean, Davinci, they're barely getting into the building, which is their main priority. This is objective number one, clearing and entering. Now, with the entry fragger gone, of course, that is going to be a bit more difficult, but you need to adapt. You need to actually start going off of it. Stop red, we still have that shield. So much priority is on the main breaches. They don't have much nades, and even the ones they did have are completely gone. Flushing the Mew out. That's a slow bit of progress, but a double kill coming out from the side of PBX. Jukas along yells. They're going to be doubling up on the side of Davinci. C4s are flying left and right. 19 seconds on the board. They're going to need to start pushing, using those flashes. Mute around the corner with a shotgun. Still going for flashes. He's being very confident in that close range shotgun, but won't be able to get at his fluency. Gets one. Lopex manages to trade him out, and Jukas finishes the job. And the second round going over to the side of PBX, and absolutely phenomenal. How they completely denied. It's basically an unbreakable shield. You know, just a force you can't be reckoned with and one you can't push back. And that's what PBX is right now showing. Davinci on the other side, they're falling directly into their hands. I mean, Davinci are not putting up too much of a fight. They don't seem to be going for that aggression that they need to. They're the ones getting picked off early. They're the ones wasting the time, which is the complete opposite of how it should go for an attacker. So definitely a switch up is going to be needed. I don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, but it definitely has to if they want to make progress on that count for rounds. Going into CC and Cash, this is the side that is primarily known for main breach, because you open up that main breach on the side of CC, you have the entire site. You can look into rafters. You have basically the bomb staring you dead in the eyes, and it's right next to the other one. So this is why the Thatcher was a bit of a weird ban, but I do see they are rocking that Maverick quite frequently. At least the 2 rounds that have been played, they both of them had a Maverick, the third one coming out as we speak of him, and a complete roster change. Earlier it was looking like a rush. We had a Finka, we had the Ash, we had the IQ, Yana, and now it's a complete roster change. We have the Sledge again on Rylix. Let's hope he doesn't get his head picked off early, although earlier was a good thing, because, you know, gadgets are still a good thing for attackers. It's what gets them into sight. Now, a bit of spawn peek does seem to be showing itself from Project Black X. They're definitely baiting Davinci Esports. You know, they're letting them know that they're still there in spirit or in gun, whatever the case may be. They're definitely a threat. So, with that, Davinci going for a default. Oh my god, going for some default breaches on Garage, you know, just to get a bit of a sight on the top of rafters. And as we talk about it, Maverick, opening pick, the only person who could go for the main breach and confirm it, is now out. Is now completely 6 foot under, dug his own grave as he gets taken out. No refrag is coming out. Nor has it happened up until now. There's been one trade in this entire match from the side of Davinci, and it was previous round when it was down to a 4v1 towards the end, or a 3v1, something like it. So, Davinci trying to take a bit more ground downstairs, which, again, a bit unusual, but with the playstyle Project is right now rocking. You have that double, the Capcan, or the Legion and the Poles downstairs, going for that microwave strategy. Legion just giving a bit more of intel. They managed to pick off Jukas. That's going to be a good opening kill, but now they need to continue, because we still have Fluency, and he's been definitely quite a fragging scent. He gets one. That's going to be the opening onto IQ. A second one flicks onto the right, and now it's down to yet again Project Black X just completely demolishing Davinci, giving them no time, no space, and without effort, taking it completely into their own hands. You see Yells right now, 6 HP. He is completely low, but with that even in mind, you could say it's a 3v2 for Davinci. Does that matter with what just happened? You let 2 players, and you went basically off of an assumption, pushing in to the side of bar. You took out that pulse, which is a great start. Absolutely fantastic. But then it's just that complete security protocol in your head just turns off. you think, okay, maybe, just maybe since we took out one downstairs, probably not going to be a second one, right? No, you need to know. You need to check with those drones. You need to check with your teammates. Go for a refrag. Check every corner because Project Black X is playing very dangerously. Just like that, the Legion running out and getting a final kill, a trade. Fluency takes out a Lopix and a Lopix does the same to him. And alongside, as we're talking about it, Smart X in the background. Just another pick for him. It was just, or Smarts, my mistake. Smart's in the background, getting one for himself, and Project Black X, third round in the row, looking very positive and looking very clean. Still, quite flawless with those rounds. Haven't been giving Davinci a breather, nor have they been giving me a breather. I mean, Fluency, calm down. Let Nike, let Jukas get some kills. Let the rest of the team perform because you have been absolutely demolishing up until now. You can lay back, man. But I'm wondering what Davinci's thinking. They've been definitely fixing up on some mistakes. We saw a bit of a faster, more aggressive push. We took out Juka as the pulse, went for a doubled peak, didn't go for that 1v1 situation. But it's like they're not improving multiple things at once. There are majority of things are to be improved right now, or at least adapted upon. But they just go one at a time. One round each, one mistake. And that's slowly going to drown you in your own failures, because at this point, you're just slowly but surely giving the enemy everything they need. Now, I mean, we're back downstairs, full site rotation. And overall, Project Black X, still the same loadout, still the same playstyle. We see that spawn peak coming out. Sadly, it won't be connecting onto anyone just as of yet, but A for effort. Now I'm going to be taking a sip of water since my throat is getting a bit dry, so please do stick with me. Or hang on. Yeah. Again, Davinci with that Dokkaebi, didn't get banned, might as well use it. It's one of the strongest operators. And speak of the devil, and he shall appear. The one thing that happened, we speak of the Dokkaebi. The caster curse comes in, and she is off the board. Stacy, completely taken out. We have the Dokkaebi off the board. Now we have roamers. And dealing with them isn't going to be as nearly as easy as it was earlier. We have that information, we have those calls. If anyone's flanking you, if anyone's to your close right, you would know it because of the Dokkaebi. But without her off the board and letting Jukas get the opening frag in the first minutes or half, it's going to be the same mistake they've been repeating constantly. I mean, we've seen spawn peaks, we've seen everything. And Project Black X, they're playing it a bit more safe now. They have led a bit of a trail. Davinci Esports, they're following the trail that someone's upstairs, Earlier someone was upstairs, so there has to be someone still upstairs. No, they rotated back down. They're looking safe. 13 HP for Jukas. He got an amazing trade-off, and he's completely back inside, just anchoring, turtling, enjoying himself with a nice hot cup of coffee. But did have a bit of a trade of positions. Fluency sneaking up slowly but surely, and there it is. Spots one. Gets the Yana. Rylix taken off, down by something, and I'm not sure. I do believe it was a C4. We heard that explosion go off, and he isn't on his 2 feet, standing loud and proud. Quite the opposite. Getting picked up. Hibana also taking some damage. Not too much, but it still matters in the end game. Now, Fluency is being quite a threat up here. Drops into bars. Sound Q is there. Gets the second, and an instant trade coming out finally from the side of Maverick. A good trade. He expects one around the corner, and he gets it. Sees the barrel. Double kill for Noltante, and a 3v2 brought on to the side of Davinci, looking a bit more favorable than it ever has up until now. You have those hatches half opened up, and a lot of Maverick fuel, but you don't have the time. And that's the problem with Maverick. It takes quite a bunch of time, and you need to go for that aggression. Now, Legion isn't looking too good on HP, but those soup cans are definitely going to be layering around just to waste your time. Hits both of the players. Now they're concussed, or not concussed, my bad, poisoned. Taking damage, you need to take them out unless you want to be in a walking position, unless you want to be completely annihilated. Smarts with one. That DMR in hand is going to be holding the bottom of main. Hibana will be trying to get some free fires, looking at one direction, but the right is going to be to the right. Nike finishing the job, and that's going to be the 4th round going to PBX. Now, Davinci, that was a better round. That was definitely improvement. I can, tip my hat to how they improved. They went for that upstairs clear quickly. Even without the Habana, they managed to get some sort of util. They managed to quickly take it, clear it out, drone it out, get the info, push back down. But then Fluency decided to take a bit of a trip to LA, went to California, went upstairs, and then back down. Dropped the hedge, got himself another. A good trade came out. It was a fantastic reaction and a nice double kill following up. But in the end, it's those early picks that you still need to kind of contest. It's those early picks, especially as an attacker. As the attacker, you should be the one opening it up. The defenders are normally, as the name implies, defending. They're in sight. They should be turtling. They should be in their own building, setting up, getting ready for maybe peeks, destroying drones, using their utility, whatever it is. The attackers are the ones who come to the defenders and challenge them. They are the ones who put out that challenge. And Project Black X, they've been doing quite the opposite. They've definitely been the aggressive force, and they've been doing 4 rounds completely fine with it. Davinci, though, still focusing on that main breach, I see. They have brought a lot of utility. We see the switch from Yana. Earlier, we had Maverick, we had Thermite, we had Ace. It was the hard breach trio, and just as I mentioned it, the Maverick coming out replacing the Yana, which is not necessarily the best cause of action, really focusing on that main breach when your main problem is actually getting into the building itself through barricades and clearing utility first. The Yana, I saw that Yana as a perfect pick. It was definitely a pick viable enough to be used, especially against the amount of shields they have. We have Frost laying around, the zombies could be countered. But with that, we'll see how it works out for them. Clancy going for a bit of a cheeky one out, trying to get a spawn peek. No one will be there to contest them, sadly, and an early breach onto the side of CC will be dropped. Thermite getting 1 exothermic off, and now we just have to focus on that a bit more, I'll say, Jacuzzi side. And as we're talking about it, Fluency gets 1 onto Civil. That's going to be the Maverick yet again gone. An amazing early pick, and just like the 3rd early pick out of all these rounds, it's always Fluency. He is absolutely bringing the heat to the table, putting all on red and going for those runouts. Those cheeky, aggressive plays are working out for him perfectly because Davinci doesn't learn. And Yelst is going to be executing off of it perfectly with a 2nd kill of his own, taking out the main fragger yet again. And now you're left down to your main breachers and that Capital, which is for the execute. The main problem with Davinci right now is showing the fact that they have the execute in hand. I'm very sure that they have a very good execute in hand. They have a plan, but they're not taking it step 1, 2, 3. They're already failing at step 1 and preparing for step 3. It's square one all over again, time after time. And while though they have definitely shown a bit more aggression towards PBX, they're still not good enough. There's still not enough of a change happening out there. We see you're already down to a 3v5. You damaged the bandit, but so what? You got the breaches, so what? You lost your entry fragger, and now you need to go into an execute because you're down to your last minute. Time is ticking, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's just going to tick out of it. With that, Fluency gets the 2nd in the round, the 3rd one for PBX. On to the side of the Capital. Now you don't have any execute power off. You don't have those bolts, use those smokes. The only option to actually go for a bit more safe of a plant and deny those peaks coming out aggressively. And now you're down left to the Thermite and the Ace, the 2 hard supports. Dropping in with a flash and directly into the aim of Jukas. Stassi manages to get 1 for himself, but Smarts instantly trades it out. And an almost flawless for the 5th round on PBX. Not only that, but it was a 4v1 at the end. An amazing performance from Project Black X. I would love to be just glazing them constantly, time and time again. I would love to commend them on how good they are. But at this point, it's more focusing on Davinci. We need to learn why Davinci isn't good. We're not necessarily good. I'm not calling them out. But what's their mistakes? Why is Project Black X 5-0 against them currently? Of course, they're on defense, which there have been cases, rare cases, but there has happened that, a team went 5-1 or 6-0 on the defensive, and when the role swap happened, the enemy team went 5-1 or 6-0 in the same type of style, just because defense was so much preferable. Now, this may be one of those rare cases, and I doubt it just because it's happened only once or twice, personally to me. And Davinci definitely have been proving a bit more of, I'll say, the defensive play on attack, but just looking at these kills, I mean, honestly insane. The spread is amazing. Davinci has been just carrying everyone on his back. Of course, but Project Black X as a team, you have Fluency as the fragger. At least that's what he's showing to be, at least for now. And you have the rest of the team doing the exact same job he is. Just Fluency's going for a bit more spawn peaks, run outs, which in the end he isn't being punished for. That's the main problem. They're not being punished. Davinci isn't punishing enough. They're definitely just letting it slide, or at least trying to go for a punish, but way too late. And with that, they may be returning the fire sooner than later. We see a bit of action coming out from the Bliss. Civil, not liking how the things have been going so far. You know, he wants to return the heat and the fire back to the enemies. You know, he wants to just kind of go for some very late game refracts. You know, earlier he got taken out one too many times, and now he's behind that shield. He's behind that Blitz. He's ready to flash. They don't have a Warden on hand, but let's hope Jukas doesn't spot him while in the action. And fights do start going down. Maverick is taking a slight bit of damage, but it will be a Lopez getting taken out. Now Blitz taking some minor damage, does pull out the pistol, challenges Jukas, but Jukas, you know, wasting his time. That's really his job here. He doesn't need to be aggressive if he knows he's wasting time. Fluency, a second one from Project Black X, and Blitz is just right now completely cornered. Castle's on the bathroom door. He's being shot in his footsies, in his everything, trying to go for these peaks, but he has nowhere to go. And Jukas, I mean, he's just going to be flushing him out. A bit more damage coming out, but one kill coming out from the side of Maverick. An opening one for Davinci, not looking too bad, but it's a bit late. 1 minute and 30 on the clock. Blitz is still going to be distracting the two opponents. You know, so he's still full riding. He's still going for that secondary pistol. He's trying to get it, and it's not necessary for PBX to challenge it. They're going to be backing off, going back to side. You know, it's a 2v4 situation if they do so, because they haven't cleared the side of Lounge. They need to get things going. They need to get that utility cleared, and they need to get into sight, which they haven't been able to do once. And Yelst, making it an even worse possible scenario, getting one for himself and one less for Davinci. That's gonna be, I do believe it was Rylance who was taken out. If I am mistaken, I humbly apologize. What I don't humbly apologize is this play. Fluency, another one. Civil is going to be off the board. The Blitz looks to the right, exposes his entire body. Footsies are completely standing, and he's going to get taken out. Fluency, another pick for himself. 11 and 4, just absolutely going up. A nice refrag comes out from Stessi, just waiting on the blue window, pinching him completely in the corner. The second his bullets run out, but with that low amount of HP, with that man disadvantage you have, goose in your feet, 20 seconds on the clock, you're going to be getting nowhere but a 6-0 going into the half split. Now, of course, never say never, of course, but, you know, it's just basically an improbable situation. You have a pulse microwave on you. You have Nike behind you. He's ready to go for those verticals, and he's ready to use them. You know, he's been waiting there for the entire round. He made them, and he doesn't want them to go to waste. He finishes the job, but 6-0. 6-0, ladies and gentlemen. We are 27 minutes into this match, and we are basically at the very possible last round. Now, Davinci Esports, they're back on their defense. They have been proving a lot too passive on the side of attack. So let's hope that works out for them on defense. Let's hope they can be patient. Let's hope they can wait around, and maybe they manage to secure themselves the round. Maybe it's going to be one of those rare case scenarios. Maybe it won't. And maybe Project Black X is just going to use that aggression they've been using up until now, even more on now that they're on attack. We already saw the Blitz on the side of, I do believe it was Youst, correct? But it's going to be getting switched out. Going a bit more with that utility, seeing as the push is going to be towards the side of Armory and Church. Hatches are going to be primary, Kitchen Hatch, and alongside the Hatch in Moto. We have the Maverick and the Hibana for it. In case one of them gets taken out, the second one can do the job. We also have Dokkaebi for clearing any type of roamers and just, like I said, overall info, she's fantastic with it. But the Twitch is going to be an interesting pick. Now, of course, the defenders are rocking that Mira, but PBX, out of nowhere, switching from that Twitch to the Ash, switching from the Hibana to the Blitz, and from that Dokkaebi to the Lion and Maverick to Dokkaebi, a complete switcheroo. All four teammates of Jukas right now switched, but he's going to be staying steady on that buck. He's going to be sticking to his role. You know, we got to love the skeleton. You can't really hate it as a player. Now, Mira is going to be quite a deal against Blitz, especially with that information, especially with C4s, but we don't have much trapper operators, and there it comes. The blue push is coming in. Blitz rushing down blue stairs. Desi gets one. A second one coming out. The C4 does come out. The pistol is alongside it, but a 2v5 is brought on to Davinci Esports. A nice start off. A 1v5 instantly traded off to the side of Rylix. He's going to be taking Jukas, and it's all down to Fluency, you know. Can he get the ace? He's been getting quite a few frags throughout this match, but gets a second one. Almost a third, putting Wharton down to his last 8 remaining hit points. Another one coming out, an amazing headshot, and now it's down to him. He managed to bring it down to a 1v3, and please, for the love of God, do not let it happen. Do not let Fluency get a 1v5 situation off and win it. Do not let that be the deciding round. Drops into Moto. Now he recognizes someone's there with a shotgun. He's going to be holding him steady. Good walk in sight. Not much traps, no Capkins, no Legions there to behold him. No Malusis. He gets a bit more aggressive towards the smoke, and it's going to be the smoke winning that Western battle. It's going to be the battle of patience, you know. Just as the Ash moves up, he notices her, the ping is there, and manages to finish it off. And finally, Davinci will be getting their first round. It's a 6-1, meaning PBX can now officially get a Brazil for themselves. But do keep in mind the Fluency right now, that almost double, triple kill was absolutely astonishing. The way he flicked, the way he just had a sense that someone was on his right, on his left, doing those 180s was very satisfying to watch and very dangerous. Davinci right now, we're kind of, you know, cutting it close. But in the end, playing it safe is what they do. They've been doing it quite a bit too much. In the end, it worked out this round. And a bit of a tactical timeout from the side of PBX, you know. Looking at the score, let's just take a look at these numbers, everybody. Let's take a look at them. Fluency 13-5. Absolute monster. The Ash main he is in soul and heart. 7-2, 6-3-3. You know, that's just a spread out. But for the side of Davinci, it's a nice 5-4-1, 4-4-1-0. A bit less, of course, with the rounds we've been seeing and with how much Fluency has been just stealing from everyone, absolutely swiping it under the rug. He's been definitely a menace throughout the entire match. Now, do remember that, again, Davinci, I was quite hopeful, or I would say hypeful, that, of course, it can happen. They can still make a comeback, but the chances are very slim. You need to win right now 5 rounds in a row to get to overtime. Not even to win. That's the funniest part about it all. You don't win after going 5 rounds in a row. Because PBX, they won 6 rounds in a row, and right now they're on match point, and they're going to be sticking to it for who knows how long. Right now they had a tactical timeout. Possibly God knows what type of monstrosity of a strategy they come up. Maybe just a bit of more default. We see the Thermite, we see the Ace. Could be a split. 5 seconds left before insertion. Definitely could be a split. I mean, 2 breaches. A Grim to deny any type of pushes or any type of peaks. No could be in Sledge, the usual. So not too surprising, nothing too new. It's not the Blitz Rush, sadly. Would have wished to see one of those work. It does happen every now and then, but it's not common. It's definitely not common, and there's many reasons for it. But some reasons I do want to ask about is no reinforcements on the side of CC. A very interesting strategy to go about it. Maybe just a gunfight and go for verticals if possible, but that allows the Thermite and Ace to just waste their utility more or elsewhere, or not even waste, necessarily use the utility elsewhere, and they're not going to even need to go in that danger of opening that soft wall up. The Sledge just repels on it, gets that hammer out, and smashes for as much as he desires. A lot of focus is on the side of CC, at least from the defender side. We have people watching constructions, 2 people on cash, but Project Black Eggs, they're just taking everything. They're opening a lot of holes and a lot of opportunities for them to take on later on. Yao starting it off, an opening kill. That AK-12 in hand is going to be dealing him dearly. Now, we're going to be taking out Civil, which isn't too bad of a pick. What is too bad of a pick is going to be that Ace. Yao's taken off the board. A late trade coming out. That's going to be the C4 kill. A very explosive one at that. And another one coming out from Stessi. That's going to be a 3v4. Now, Davinci's looking quite better. They're being aggressive around those mirrors. They're using them to the potential. They want, PBX wanted to go for that breach. You see the bread loaf on the mirror currently, but mutes are definitely going to be a good combination to bring alongside the mirror to just protect those windows. Now, you don't have an Ashe alongside, and you also don't have Fluency on the board, or actually Smarts on the board anymore. That's going to be the Dokkaebi off. Not too much frag power, but definitely utility-wise and information could be essential in the late push. Now, Project Black X, you have Nike, you have Jukas. What are you going to do with them? Thermite's going to be going main breach. Again, if anyone wants to rotate, if anyone gets cheeky, they have that man advantage. They definitely could be feeling a bit more confident than they ever have. And just as I speak about it, Mira goes for the peak. And that's going to be an execute off of Nike trading it out. He's going to be definitely taking that and eating it all up. Chef's kiss for him, cherry on the top. But 40 seconds are ticking down slowly. Now, do keep in mind, Davinci, they have a lot on the stakes for this round. Project Black X, they're still chilling. They're still looking good. Smokes are coming out. Warden is on the board, and he's going to be peeking out through them. Rylek's giving a bit of a troublesome gunfight, and good enough distraction for the Warden to come up behind and take out the Thermite. Jukas, sadly, not on the correct window. If he could have contested Jim at that correct moment, and Thermite could have contested the Warden, would have been a very, very unique way of playing it. Just a perfect synergy. And Rylek, he's been waiting. He's been waiting around those windows, playing left and right, playing whack-a-mole with a sledge, and he whacked him all right. He whacked him with that shotgun pretty good and got them the second round. Davinci, that was fantastic. This is where it starts. A very good way of going on defense. Attack, I can't be too confident about how Project Black X has been going. Of course, they gather breaches. They definitely use utility, but it's the gunfights that they're starting to like in a bit. Again, they have 4 more rounds. They need to use them well. They need to get at least one of them. And Davinci, you're going to be looking at a good start of defense. 2 flawless rounds is definitely going to be proving very nice. Both of them with a great man advantage, although the first one is a complete rush, and you almost got that flawless. Well, no thanks to Fluency, you didn't. But that second round, it was a 1v3 in the end. Amazing distractions. We love that synergy we saw at the end. Thermite was looking for that mute. The mute shot him up, and Thermite wanted that, what? He wanted to get that mute and Jim so he could go for a plan so him and Sledge could team up. But what he didn't know is that even though if he did smoke out main stairs, the Warden's still on board, and he's not sure where he is. He was waiting at Logi, perfect positioning, perfect time, and just an overall distraction from the mute, just combined all out well. A very nice deck coming out, but that's one of the few rounds. Davinci, they need to keep it going if they want to have it be like this. We're going to the third side. This is a possibility of complete differentials because we haven't seen Davinci play this site. We've seen them play Church, we've seen them play Gym, and Project Black X could adapt in the later rounds if they don't win this one. But again, Davinci, they don't know what Project Black X is going to be bringing here. They don't know what the strategy is going to be. And starting off with that so-called strategy, a bit more default on the side of going for that garage breach. You want can opener, some aggression on the side of top main, just letting them know that Alopex is there. He took out that can opener. It's going to be giving a bit more limited, or a bit more of a limit on the side of hard breach, and just in general, how much you want to actually use utility to get into that garage to put a bit of pressure. But Alopex, he's applying it. He's definitely applying it from side and side. Went from windows, went to Logi door, tried to go for a bit of a headfire or free fire on the wall bang of a wall to the jacuzzi, where someone was going for the main camera, but sliding back over to the side of construction. Now, not much aggression has happened. Project Black X is definitely keeping hold of their angles. They're keeping them patient. They're waiting. They're waiting around like a predator, and they're just hunting for Davinci right now. But, Davinci's not too bad at hiding themselves. They're definitely being around the corner, very sneaky rats, some may say. And Rylek's, he's holding that blue. He's wasting a lot of time, just like Alopex. A lot of ground is being covered by the angles they're holding, and at the same time, they're putting up quite a challenge. They're going to need to use utility to take him out. Some damage is exchanged between the two, almost equivalent. But if Legion gets away from this gunfight, that Doc is going to be stimming him up any second he can. It's also going to give Rylek's an opportunity to go for a flank, maybe double back, going for that garage pick. He does want to deny anyone going on the stairs. He sees the Monty, but the Monty's not going to be giving in. Throwing that Legion goo, some damage is brought on, and that's going to be Monty looking a bit lower. some Legion Goose are still just trying to be a hindrance, and Fluency's going to be getting the opening pick. Smarts with one for himself, gets instantly traded off. That crossbow bolt won't be dealing enough fire as much as Rylix. That T5 SMG going to be taking one for himself. Now it's down to a 3v4. Monty not looking to the best of his HP, but definitely looking good to the amount of the teammates he has. Fluency gets one onto Civil, but Rylix instantly refragging him for Jukas. Now it's down to that Maverick, that Grim. How do you want to go about denying these pixels, denying these angles, these holds, these pushes? You get all that information from that so-called perfect Grim. We love the gadget. And he also has a diffuser blocking the door. The Legion's gonna be throwing the goo, but not enough to prevent him from just being an absolute mountain. He's holding his angles, and that's gonna be Rylix getting down left to the mirror. She has the C4 and takes out Fluency. That's gonna plant her down. Knight finishing the job, pistol out, and now it's down to a 2v1. That black ice is shining, blinding the mirror, and she's gonna be holding the correct angle, taking out the final possible player to take her out. And with that, it's going to be Davinci barely managing to just get away with it by the skin of their teeth and finishing their third round, getting just halfway there to the overtime match point, or just over, just kind of getting to that 6-6 score. Now, how that happened in the end, I was expecting the mirror for the C4. I was expecting it, to be completely frank, but what was happening outside? Why were there Monty not being followed up by his fellow teammate? Both of them being inside could have went for an easy plant, could have went for that perfect execute. Monty could have completely blocked out the mirror, just not allowing her to pass through. And if she did, I mean, he could have challenged her. Monty's can be a bit of a tricky opponent to deal with. You know, he takes the shield off. You want to flick onto his head, but it's still, the shield still protects his head. You want to flick onto his feet? Boom, shield is back up. And he can even go for a pistol if he feels cocky enough. But whatever the case is, Davinci is going to be taking round number 3. 3 more rounds, and they have matched up to PBX. You know, they had a rough time on attack, but they're the ones now that are giving the attackers the rough time. Going downstairs again, full-on rotation. We're going to be seeing a face that's quite unfamiliar, or I'll say unrecognized in the esports scene when it comes to my experience. It's going to be the Vigil coming out. We've seen a lot of drones being used by the side of PBX. And Soulless and Vigil are the best combo to take him out. They are the best combo to go against them and try to deny them as much as possible, try to prevent PBX to get as much intel as they can. But I'm still quite scared about what that Dokkaebi is going to be doing about it. Now, as we're going about it, we have a lot of can openers. You know, we have that Maverick. If he gets taken out, can openers are still a possibility. But let's take a look on the side of blue. Some aggression is being brought on by Rylix. He's going for a bit of a safer spawn peek, or should I say spawn C4. Because in general, you know, you don't need to actually peek. You just throw the C4 once the window is broken. But not much is going to be happening. You know, kind of a letdown for him. He's going to be not contesting too much on the downstairs side, at least in the early stages of the game. But it's going to be these early stages of the game that are really going to kind of announce who gets taken out first. Just as I said, Fluency. I've said that name more times than I've said my name, probably. And the 16th kill dropped by him. C4's beneath. Rylix tries to get one prediction, seeing as Fluency got the kill on Rafters. He tried to predict that he was going to be somewhere in CC. Threw that C4, destroyed it right in front of his ass, but thankfully Fluency was on his drone. He was actually checking out for some roamers. And while top stairs is taken out, that bar is still going to be something you need to take care of. We have the Warden, who's did just the same second drop bar, and I believe that was intentional. Didn't look like it was a mistake. And that Vigil could be a bit of a troublesome operator, especially coming in when you have flank drones, when you have anything that PBX has been using to watch their flanks, because they're not bringing a Nomad, they're not bringing a Gridlock, but they're bringing drones, which, you know, of course, when watching them, if Vigil has his ability up, you know he's there, but you don't know exactly. Now, as we're speaking of him, he's going to be the one to start it off. Stassi with a nice opening kill. Not going to be using that Bosch G, and a double kill coming out from the side of Civil, joining along. Stassi, SMG 12 in hand, and not only now did I just notice he's rocking that Bosch G, making him my basically favorite player of this entire match. I'm sorry, but I am a based Bosch G enjoyer. Now, completely turning the tables. It went from a 5v4 for Project Black X. They were rocking the sands right now. They were crushing the pillars of Davinci. They were starting it off strong, taking out that Soulless. It was a very valuable pick. And they started it off strong. But in the end, they got completely refragged, and another kill that almost came out was that smoke. 14 HP isn't going to be looking too nice and clean, and in the meanwhile, Davinci is going to be cleaning up what they started. Rylix coming out from behind, doesn't need the Vector in hand as he has that secondary shotgun. From the back, a complete stab, and the fourth round in a row going to Davinci. Now, I don't know if I cast or curse this or whatever is happening. Project Black X is starting to run out of rounds. And they are doing so just thinly enough to be allowing Davinci to be 2 rounds away from evening out the score. What is actually happening here? Project Black X 6-0, a very promising and early round. Now it's 6-4. What changed? Now this is definitely showing to be one of those rare case scenarios, which I'm not too fond of, seeing as how much the defense is loved, but the attack is completely dismissed by these teams, or at least hated a lot more than the defense, at least performance-wise. And Davinci comfortable. Again, you have not lost a round, you have been keeping up your streak, and you've been rotating through those sites. Now, Project Black X, they saw how what went wrong earlier. Those early picks were not too good. They managed to get those kind of entries when it comes to ground, taking a lot of ground, taking it quickly. But now, you need to go for those entry frags, and you can't just land Fluency be the only one to get on it. You need to let Jukas, get Yelst on it, get anyone, as long as it's a frag, onto some of the stronger sides, like Sassy, who has been on that Vigil. He does not need a primary. The K1A is an excellent gun, but he decides to stick with the SMG-11 or SMG-12 and Bosch G loadout, which is completely astonishing, but we're not going to be seeing a Vigil anymore, just sadly enough. Going on to round number 11, I mean, now I think it's the time that I have to talk about Project Black X, what they've been doing. Fluency, you know, he's been getting his kills, but they're doing quite the opposite of Davinci. They're doing things quick, and they're using their drones, they're using their guns, definitely, but I'm not personally seeing that much utility. Of course, they get the breaches, but Grims, smokes, fires only get used as a last resort. The Capitals are coming out, the Grims are coming out only when you feel like you are at a man disadvantage. It should be used to further that advantage, to further anything, to get into more comfortable combat. Now, it's going to be getting worse. As we were talking of that beloved Capital, Smart taken out. Lopez trading out about 100 HP, or should I say 92 HP, just to take that Capital, that really essential, that one of the main execute operators for Project Black X as of current, definitely in their lineup, is going to be a very valuable trade. Civil does get thrown out, but will be pushing back to the top red. Now he's behind the shield, but we have Fluency just pushing in. He's going in behind. Do they know about it? Jaeger goes for the reload. He gets 1, he gets 2 onto red. An amazing flick. Rylix gets a trade onto Nike. It's going to be the Thermite off the board, but another kill coming out from a Lopez. That 28 HP won't be lasting him for too long, as he is now down in the down state. Fluency managed to get away with it somehow, perfectly timing the way that Wamai went behind onto the red stair shield, and just sneaking in for that Jaeger to start reloading, and gets 1, gets the second, flicks onto him, continues, takes out Construction, Jukas takes out, finishes the job on the Lopez with that nasty nade. 3v2 is brought onto the side of Project Black X, and this could be it. It's down to Rylix, it's down to the Bandit. They do show themselves for a split second. He gets it, but doesn't finish it. Just manages to stick a bullet to the back of Bandit. The Grims are going to be exposing him completely, and they go in for that plant. Both operators, we know where they are. We know what to hold. Going for some pre-fires. Fluency with another one, a triple for himself, and Jukas finishes the job, and Project Black X will be finishing it with a nice 7-4 score, getting a bit too close for comfort, at least for me personally. I thought I absolutely cursed it. I thought that Davinci was going to get all 6 rounds because it was looking promising. They definitely had it. They definitely had something in their mind, and it was working for a second. But Fluency, 19-8, almost dropping a 20 bomb at 2-0 is absolutely insane. Just going off on a fragging streak of all things and managing to win them the round. I mean, that was essential. The timing was just on point. Omai goes in for red, goes behind that shield. Jaeger reloads, it's like it snaps. It's like it just all connected. An alignment of stars for him as he just starts connecting the dots onto the heads, along with Jukas. I mean, that nade kill and the finishing one was absolutely the chef's kiss, and the triple kill from Fluency. Amazing teamwork, amazing chemistry from Project Black X. Also, a very good first 6 rounds. I mean, the early rounds were, oh god, the amount of aggression they put on defense is unholy, unwatchable. But again, pretty fun for Clubhouse. And with that, the first best of one is going to be finished for today. We're going to be having a second one in just after this break, so stay tuned because we're going to be going for Davinci again and seeing if they can bring it back against Go To Limits. We'll be seeing you in 5 to 10 minutes.